One more show until OCW Consequence 2019, one of the biggest shows in OCW history, returns. And we're going to find out who is going to face Doc Green in the main event right now on Riot 239, the Super Show. I'm joined in the booth with Angus. B17 and H20, Angus, who you got?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. H20 has been sort of legendary for his relatively inconsistent performances, but he's been on fire lately, having an incredible match with Malu. B17, of course, always a strong competitor. I don't really know who to pick here, but at Consequences, well, the consequences are right here. One of these men has the chance to fight for that OCW championship.
A whole lot on the line, and in this match, the Super Show fans treated to a champion versus champion, former champion versus champion. Of course, B17, a former CCW world champion, two-time world champion, and H20, a former OCW world heavyweight champion. It looked to be that H20 was changing his ways a couple of weeks ago as this whole storyline began, and then he turned his back on Doc Green and once again set his sights on the OCW World Heavyweight Championship.
I don't know, it's been a little bit of a mental case lately. I mean, back and forth here and there. It seems like we have the good light back. I'm not sure if I can say that for certain yet. We'll have to see if this newly rejuvenated good light can defeat Living Bingo Color.
He didn't have any troubles a couple of weeks ago in the main event of Turmoil, taking out, disposing the #1 contender for the CCW Championship, Code Jackman. Had a little bit more trouble against Malu, and right now he has another task on his hand. The Bingo Bomber in front of him, awaiting the good light we are. Here he comes.
What an entrance for the flashy competitor. Certainly a piece of his personality right there, all about the presentation. And that was the indicator that H20 maybe wasn't well in the head a while ago. He'd lost that flash, that flare, all the custom attire. He was wandering around in a tank top looking like he, crawled out of a trash bin. But here he is, he's back. He's ready to go, and he's looking great, as he's supposed to.
And certainly is not interested in looking like he crawled out of a trash bin. The man who created Inception to defeat Trash. It seems like they are still around. TTT not so much. And H20 may have lost his way for a moment, but right now, the only thing on his mind is reclaiming the biggest prize in OCW, Angus.
Yeah, well, TTT fizzled out like Code Jackman's dreams after they got kicked out of the back of his head. But now, we look to see, will H20 kick B17's dreams out of his head too? Or will B17 knock H20's teeth out with that bingo punch?
We've seen plenty of Bobby Minio's super kicks do damage in OCW, but there is no super kick that is more dangerous than the Riptide. We'll see who can land which finishing move first. Ted is your official. Let's get it underway. B17 and Harvey Ocean.
B17 taking control with the strength advantage. I definitely expect a fast-paced match from both these men.
A key lock right now, and B17 putting his knees to good use, and now tripping down H20. Some technical wrestling getting our main event underway. Oh, not for long.
As much as both men may be known for high-risk maneuvers, they're both very educated in the art of wrestling. They know their way around a hold, they know their way around a wrist lock, as everybody must. These aren't no indie marks here.
And talking about educated, talking about knowing your way around something, H20 knows his way around a kick, and he proved it right there. A big Enziguri taking down B17, and now he knows his way around in a Hurricane Rana. H20, a surprising early advantage.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things H20 has been good at, is kind of taking that momentum. He's definitely someone who kind of, he suffers, and yet he also gains from his momentum. B17's a lot more kind of, he's not really affected so much by by the course of the match. You know, he always has a chance to get it back up. H2O is on fire when he's on fire, and when he has trouble, he really has trouble putting it together. So it's definitely a momentum-based wrestling match from H2O.
And you're seeing it right now. B17 cerebral, not affected by momentum. As you said, he's always on task, on target, calculating and really delivering a number to the lower back of H2O right there as we go back into another reset for these two. Drago suplex. Must have learned that from his mentor's tag team partner. And another fist drop down on H2O.
Absolutely. Well, it is one of B17's noted weaknesses when he does let his emotions get the better of him. I mean, we've seen what happened when he crashes and burns with those elbows off the top rope, so definitely something H2O might be looking for to try to get Mr. Bingo angry.
That's one way to get him off his game, but Bingo, ever the calculating veteran, taking down H2O back-to-back arm-wrenching shoulder blocks, and we're going to take the action to the outside. More damage to the arm for Bingo.
Something we've been seeing of lately. B17 looking for more of the arm work than the usual. Harvey with his trademark move to missed aerial attack, but he gets him with that one.
Followed right back up with a head scissors, and Ted is frustrated with the lack of connection from H2O's head scissors, as is the crowd. H2O right back in the ring. Harvey still with full momentum early, but Bingo going to quickly correct that. Reverse power slam. Damaging looking maneuver there.
Yeah, see, you can't miss a drop kick if your knees are blown out.
Big time strategy now, as you pointed out. And once again, Bingo wrenching that arm, that hand. H2O helpless right now, stomping on the upper arm. That'll fracture your arm in a hurry.
Absolutely. We might be looking for, maybe B17's going for some kind of submission tactic, or he's just trying to get H2O too injured, you know, to really pull off a lot of his moves. Of course, his finisher does use his legs, but in wrestling, you're pretty much not 100% without all four of your limbs ready to go.
Well, we know even Bingo catching that enziguri, we know he has been really doing a number on his opponents with that crossface chicken wing that he's been applying both on live, you know, house shows and on TV, and we'll see if he's able to connect with it here on Harvey Ocean. Right now, hanging him on the top rope. I don't think he's really picking any poison with these limbs. He's just trying to damage his opponent.
A knee right to the back of the head, picking him up back again to do it again. And B17 trademark, measuring those strikes, taking his time.
And this is good strategy for B17, the Bingo Bomber. He's been around the block quite a few times. He knows how to bide his time and keep his stamina at the highest possible level. Nice spinning back fist there as B17. Watch the dropkick, kid.
Absolutely. As we've said, you know, B17 doesn't really care so much what people think. In terms of, you know, H2O wants to show off to the crowd. He wants to be impressive. He wants to do that high-flying stuff. You know, he really wants to be the whole effing show, if you will. B17, he just wants to beat the guy. He wants to beat him up. He wants to prove his point that he's better than everybody else, despite the fans who he alleges turned on him.
And not a lot of love lost between B17 and the fans, and going back to that same well as H2O with the enziguri, trying to gain some momentum right back, using those big, thick, meaty thighs of his, driving the head into the mat.
That was a weird move. Not so sure about that one, Harvey.
I think I made it worse with my description. H2O controls the ring right now. Ted continuing his count. B17 back in the ring, Angus.
The last thing you want to fight B17 with is something vaguely homoerotic. He'll just turn it against you.
Oh, nice drop toe hold, countering. It looked like to be probably like a basement drop kick, something of the effect. Nice drop toe hold. Sling blade, down goes B17.
Lightning counter from B17, but H2O fast as always, quick on the uptake, doesn't let him get the advantage. H2O trying to mount some more momentum back, but he keeps getting cut off. Bah, I can't even talk. He keeps getting cut off, just like my vocal cords by B17.
Oh, speaking of getting cut off, a nice counter with the dropkick, and that is the third or fourth enziguri we have seen from H2O, and he drops a big knee on the throat, a fanciful pinfall. Ted going for the cover, and he gets his knee tossed off. B17 not going to be taken down that easily.
It's quite the pinfall with attitude there. Very disrespectful from H2O. A lot of fire in him right now. B17's fired him up all this back and forth. Both men looking pretty even, seeming to have answers for all of each other's offense.
Front face lock here with B17. He's countered. And for those that are inactive and uninformed, oh my, let me get cut off here. Nice spinning maneuver from H20, one of his many signature maneuvers, and it's only a 1 count. Shows you really the resiliency and the power of B17. As I was saying, that for the inactive and uninformed, that there's a lot on the line tonight, Angus. You could tell him this is for a shot at the #1 superstar in OCW, Doc Green, the man who holds the OCW World Championship.
Yeah, B17 might be living with bingo brain damage after that one, but he's going right back at Harvey Ocean. It's definitely an incredibly important match for both these guys. B17 having migrated shows and having to prove himself against this Riot mainstay in H20. And of course, Doc Green waiting. Doc Green, the man who's had such conclusive, such dramatic victories in his last championship matches. The man people are wondering, can anybody beat? If Paul Pugh can't beat him in a 2 out of 3 falls match, after all those finishers, all those moves, everything he did, he could not take Doc Green down.
And right now, H20 looks like a worthy competitor, because we saw at Resolution, B17 was not able to get the job done going from Turmoil to Riot, as you said, and suffered defeat at the hands of the then rookie Doc Green. H20 at this point has not suffered defeat from Doc Green, looking to steal a victory here. Another fanciful pinfall, and B17 forces his way out. Either one of these men would be an incredible match for Doc Green at Consequence. Another enziguri.
Yeah, definitely between the two men, H20 is more similar in style to Doc Green. More of a high-flying competitor, using a lot of those leg moves, more flashy. Definitely someone the fans are more likely to get behind, whereas B17, very disrespectful, very power-based, although he does occasionally take those risk-taking elbows and suicide dives. I'm not sure who I want to see take him on more, but to be honest, I think I got a pull for H20 in this match, because, I mean, he abandoned Doc Green, but it seems like he's getting his mental state back together, and B17, I just can't get behind the guy who acts the way he does.
And it's got to be said, both of these men actually abandoned Doc Green in a tag team match in their respective periods, of course, before Resolution, and then a couple of weeks ago in the match you're referencing with Harvey Ocean. And now both of these bad men going back and forth. The former head of Turmoil, the former head of Riot. A couple of champions doing battle right now as H20 dumps B17 to the outside of the ring, and he's feeling himself right now, Angus.
Yeah, Doc Green's certainly not a rookie, but he's still learning a lot of things about OCW, such as the fact it's lonely at the top, and people will turn on you in a heartbeat if they feel it can get them some kind of advantage or some kind of chance at that goal.
And we've even seen it in the past couple of weeks. His own childhood best friend Antonio Everett has been going the selfish way in his feud with AC Cobra. So it's got to be tough to balance these personal relationships with what is assuredly going to be a brutal match at Consequence. And it could be B17. Stomp to the head. No, H20 kicks out after 1.
As you can see, Doc Green's got to be watching this match, and if he isn't, he's making a cardinal mistake in the art of wrestling. You got to study the tapes. You got to keep abreast of everything your competitors are doing. This is an incredible match we're seeing right now. Both men not giving an inch. Definitely a preview of what you're going to see at Consequence.
It has been back and forth. At this point, it is all the Bingo Bomber, all B17. H20 makes quick work of that, using a little bit of his wrestling background with the double leg takedown. Now he has full control. Irish Whip coming into the corner, putting B17 in timeout. This match could end at any second.
All it takes is one move. All it takes is one mistake, one instant. H20 better watch those springboards. Make sure he doesn't make any false moves, because B17 is the guy who will be ready to capitalize on every mistake you make.
That is another big reason we were all surprised at the result at Resolution. Doc Green, made a lot of these big mistakes at the biggest show of the year, and yet was able to overcome B17's confidence. And H20 looking to have the same fortune now as he's going over the top! And it looks like he did not connect with B17. B17 ducking under towards the apron, and now going to take full advantage of the reversal.
B17 got out of the way the last minute, but I guess that performance by Doc Green is just evidence of the one thing you can't quantify in wrestling, the one thing that has no statistic, that has no educational basis, the heart, the fire and the mettle to take everything your opponent can give you and fight on through. Fight through injuries, through broken bones, through concussions, because you want it that bad. And that's something that Harvey's proven he can do, and Bingo's proven he can do, and of course Doc's proven he can do. So this is going to be quite the exciting matchup. Whichever man comes to pass to win this
We have 3 incredibly deserving competitors for our main event at Consequence, but only 2 can be there. B17 or H20. One of these 2 are going to fight for the OCW World Heavyweight Championship. B17 once again a dominating clothesline. Very brutal looking maneuver. Oh, and now capping it off with a clothesline. Looks like he caught the back of H20's leg on that one.
Kicked his knees right out from under him. H20 somehow still getting back to his feet at the same time as Bingo, but oh, both men trying to run to beat the count. I think that was an 8 there.
That would have been something else. I don't know what new OCW General Manager Tiberius Dupree would have decided after a double count out, but we're going to get another big-time rolling unprettier. Here is the cover. Is it going to be enough? No, Bingo kicks out at 2.
Barely 2.5. H20 smartly getting between his opponent and the ropes. You do not want a rope break in a match this crucial. You don't want a moment like that to happen. I've been saying so far, I think B17, it seems like B17 might be the one moving on. Later in the match, he seems to have an answer for everything Harvey does. But H20's crawling back up with that clothesline.
Well, you and I both know that Riptide super kick can come out of nowhere. Both of these men have finishing maneuvers that really can get you off guard and can really be connected at any time. There it is! Oh, God! Get that! Right as I'm saying it, the Riptide super kick. The cover 10. No! My goodness. The Bingo Bomber.
Is that a 1 count?
Oh, 1 count. B17. No regard for the super kick. And H20 smartly going right back to the well. Here's the cover. This is a 2 count this time. No.
B17 somehow with the force of will to kick out of that. I swear. Man, Jake, you got to be some kind of a tea leaf reader or something, because you saw the future as you were speaking.
Oh, Jesus Christ, the Bingo punch! Oh, my God, he's not going to pin him. And B17, knowing his opponent.
You think that's enough?
Knowing his opponent. He got hit with a super kick. He knows it's going to take 2 of them. H20 with a big counter. He's going to look to hit him with something else.
It could have been a cardinal mistake by B17 not taking the chance to put his opponent down. But he's looking for another one. Shotgun dropkick this time. And maybe signaling for the Mugen died for our sins.
I think he is. I think he watched that Turmoil main event a couple of days ago. He saw how resilient H20 can be. Mugen died for my sins. The cover after a Bingo punch isn't enough. No! Harvey kicked out, Angus.
Somehow, both men have survived each other's finishers. We were talking about how it was all about who landed that move first. But now it seems like the complexion of the match has completely changed. Now both men have taken 1 and kicked out. It's got to do a number on both their mental states, and they got to be wondering, what do I need to do now? So we have essentially a second phase of the match where it's sort of 2 men going to throw everything they have at each other to see what it'll take. B17 thinking it'll take a chair.
Oh, God, it's not going to take a chair. Wait, what is happening? The Riptide super kick. The rope is connected. Arm. That's a 3 count.
That was a rope break.
Oh, we have a controversial finish here. The rope apparently did not count at the position that B17 was in.
But it was under his arm. It was under his armpit.
It was very clearly on it, and H20 still landed the super kick and finished off B17. I don't know if this is official, but we have a new #1 contender. Oh, B17 with a Bingo punch to 10! I guess we'll see you at Consequence. What could this mean?